Alright, so hopefully you're playing around or playing along with my tech curve here. What goes on? So before we get into too much, hopefully you've seen the clip art. Let's just take a look at this hot mess right here, and really discern what that looks like on the breadboard for Neo.
Incredible proportions.
You think that's air you're breathing?
Imagine it could run.
You think that's air you're breathing, Neo?
Programs to help
There's
your
a
kids
tech
get
curve
ahead
with
in
types
school,
of computers.
to
This
help you
low
get
grade
ahead in
stuff
business.
can actually, by high ending the get a
It's now
computer
a
board
figment
with the
of
schematics on
reality.
this. You might not, and it'll have code limits on those things before you customize which pin chip make a loop that the IP address has to track.
Or whatever, and it sure as shit isn't a technological
There's walls, but there's not walls.
But it's here, it works, and this is a little bit about how I did it.
You were jumping around that mill like all kinds of crazy.
My previous videos, let me just really quickly answer the question.
Being the
What
breadboard
hell are you
as a
doing?
whole, let's call this the
Well,
floor
what I'm doing
schematic
here
of
and
one
what
of the
I've been up to for
places,
the past few
which
months
you
is
might
building
need to
an
do
8-bit
on
TTL mini computer with a
very
16-bit
different
address bus,
scales
256 I/O ports, a 208 by
of
240
what that
pixel
system may
black
look
and white
like, of how you
composite
program in the
signal-generating graphics
electrons
card,
inside
and
of
writing
here.
some programs for it.
Look, you're gonna need some
and
of
the
this
whole
stuff,
thing's
and it's
gonna be
math.
made out of these
And
tiny little
so then
integrated
I'll make
circuits
that
wired
map say
together by
hello,
hand on breadboards.
because I want the Bernoullis on this to be this type of, well, you're gonna need to dance something real close to that. So you remember assembly
with more than 200
in the
million users
factory, you
using
put a wire
Wix?
harness in
Well,
on
we did.
something at Ford, right? Right?
I'm Sivana. I'm an
Kinda
R&D
thing you-
manager here at
kinda
Wix.
thing you
Today
doing
I want
around
to show you how we use our own platform, creating some pretty complex functionalities that may surprise.
Okay.
Well, that might sound kind of complicated. The
There might be
computer's actually
voltage,
pretty simple
right?
and only has
You might
16
have to deal with it,
instructions,
have to
but
limit
it
it.
needs to be able to do them exactly right every time. Here you can see the
Yeah, here's
instructions the
another
computer can
overhead
execute in
on
using
what the
these two,
breadboard
which
may
store
look
and
like
load
for a
data from
certain
memory.
company.
This instruction,
Now,
which
basically,
is the
I
registers.
know that
This
they are
standard
not
push
the
and pop
same thing in
instructions
this
for the
quadrant
stack.
of freedom in
These
America
7
here.
instructions that perform arithmetic operations, 2 instructions for I/O, and
Doesn't
the
do you any good
all-important
to stick it
jump
on just
instruction.
any old hill
Pretty
in
simple,
somebody else's
right? Not that
backyard.
much to
That's
do.
clearly not
Well,
those things. The
we'll see
debugging
about
on
that.
this will be a problem later.
So, well, now with the targets defined, how do they even
They
get
look
started
the
on this
same
thing?
way. You're gonna
Well,
need
let's
to.
go over to the initial design for
If
my first
it
video
were a
on this project,
555,
which
right?
check
You
out
just
if you haven't
got you and
seen,
a skid steer.
and see how this actually gets implemented. So the original circuit existed in LauderSim and
Let's
was
let's
made
talk
up of
about
these fancy
Penzo
logic
dropping a
symbols
few
and
levels,
isolating
growing
circuits.
some, you know,
This,
the
unfortunately,
marshmallow,
isn't enough to
the
get started
snowflake,
on
and the
the
rabbit
build.
there.
Before any wiring can happen, the entire circuit
If
needs
it's
to be
winter
converted into this
and you're a
form,
marshmallow,
where the logic is
you're not
segmented
gonna
among
catch the
different
rabbit.
integrated circuits so they can actually be wired together on breadboards. These are all the 74 series integrated circuits designed by Texas Instruments.
Obviously,
This
you gotta
conversion
mirror it
is
here, but
absolutely not one-to-one, and a lot of the modules
it
and
works
signals
that way
changed,
because
inverted,
in
and/or
reality,
simplified
it
the
doesn't
process.
want to. But that's kind of the reason. Because if you program
Once
it
the whole
right
thing
and
was
you're real
converted, I
tight
made
with
this nice-looking
all this
and
stuff,
relatively
and you
easy to
know
follow
how it
master
works,
schematic for the whole thing.
it wouldn't.
Unfortunately,
And
you
you
can't
could
really
get rid
into
of a
the
whole
defined
quadrant. It
details
makes
over
this whole
video, so
area
if
of
you
these
really wanna
types
go
of
see
chips
this, check
different,
out the
right? You know.
GitHub link in the description below. All this stuff took a while.
And you might
but
have a
after all
standard
that was
model of
done,
those
though, I
things.
could
They are
procure the
always
chips
going to
make
be
a computer.
X. You could do this out of wires. However, you have this, and they
Slap
are
them down
cheap
on some
and
breadboards,
easy to do. You
get
don't have
started
to.
wiring
You don't
them
have to
together.
do any of this for it just to be this fucking chip of jumping through an LED and doing
And
things. They
since it would be
figured it
kind
out
of
on
insane to build the whole thing at once,
electrons,
the computer was
jumping
wired
orders
versus
with proper
9
spin
independent and
ratio.
individually testable
They made it
modules,
work.
which were the
good.
video generator up here, which operates nearly independently of the
You
rest
got
of the
entropy,
computer.
and you play
It
the
only
game. You
communicates
get
via
out
the
there
video
if it's
memory
sonar,
placed
fight
here.
for honor superiority.
The
That's what you'll
address
do.
module, which computes the current memory address. The arithmetic logic unit, or
That
ALU,
fixes
which
all
does all
my
the math for the computer. The auxiliary registers,
you.
or aux regs
And
module,
in its
which
way,
contains
that graph
the memory
tracks
math
that thing.
registers,
It
those
really
being
does.
The stack
I mean,
pointer,
if you
the program counter, and the memory bank
let's
register.
see if we do it this way. There
Then we
you
have
go.
the device interface
If you
module
graph.
for device I/O. The operation counter, or OPC module, which keeps track of and loads the current instruction. The register file, which sits up here and contains our 8 general purpose registers.
This is you.
Then all this
You are an
miscellaneous
electron.
stuff, including the clock and system ROM and
Basically
RAM.
this.
And finally,
You're
the
one of
control
them right
signals.
now.
This
Coming at me,
consists
but
of
all
EEPROMs containing
up
the
on the
computer's
basic
microcode,
5
which
minutes of
can change
midnight
the
shit
control
that you
lines
do.
depending on the current
You're coming in
instruction.
here with the
This
fuzz
is
and
kind of the glue
lensing
with the
and,
whole computer
and
comes
gravity
together.
distortion, how where you're positioned
all
and
those
everything. And
hopefully
that's going to
simple,
tell
easy
me
to
which way I'm
understand
supposed to go
modules in
inside
order,
of
though.
here.
The
Look,
video
look,
card
I've
was
heard it a
actually already
million
built,
times.
so when I started work on the rest